Good morning. I hope you're having a beautiful and bright day today. I'd like to tell you a story, especially for those who wear glasses or have eyesight problems. If you're like me, I can remember as a little kid, I couldn't see the board even on the first grade of school. I had to sit on the front row in order just to see the board, and I was still having problems. I remember going and getting my eyes checked, and they told me that I needed glasses. And so I got a prescription. We got it filled. I got my glasses. I went back. This is where you used to get a prescription from the doctor. You took it over to the clinic, and they took you about a week to get your glasses. I remember going in and getting the glasses and them doing all the adjustments and making sure that it fit right and that they were just the way they were supposed to be. On the way home, something amazing happened to me. All of a sudden, all of those poles along the side of the road had lines at top that connected them. And every once in a while, one line would have another line that would go off into the houses. You see, I'd never seen the power lines before. And I know that sounds silly, but my eyes was where I could never see until I got the corrective lens put in. I wore glasses for many, many, many years, and 10 years ago, I decided to have that LASIK corrective surgery. The doctor told me, said, I can fix all of that, but I can't fix the 40itis, is what he called it. Now, that's where you have to start having reading glasses, magnifying glasses. Now, I can see print on paper, and sometimes if I get my arms out just long enough and squinch my eyes, I can see it. But even nowadays, I have to work hard to see something on paper, or I put my glasses on and it becomes very clear. There's a story in the Bible in John in chapter 9 about a man that was born blind. His disciples asked Jesus, was this man who sinned, this man or his parents? And Jesus said, neither one had sinned. But this man was born blind so that the glory of the Lord could be shown. It says that he spit upon the ground and he took clay and he put it over the eyes of the man, and he told him to go and to wash in the pool of Siloam, which is translated sent. And so the man did. He went, and all of a sudden his eyes was open. And he could see things that he had never seen before. He could see his parents that he had never seen before. Remember, he was born blind. People around him was amazed and wondered if maybe it was somebody that looked like him. But no, it was him. Said that he was brought before the Pharisees, the religious leaders of the day, and they questioned him. And they questioned him not because he could see, but because the man that gave him his sight violated some of the Pharisaic rules. They called it working on Sunday. Jesus done a great thing. He opened up the blind man's eyes. But the Pharisees was so blind they couldn't see the great thing that Jesus had done because of their law that they had made. They even got to the point of calling the boy's parents in and saying, is this your son? And the mother answered and said, absolutely, that's our son. I know that it is. I know that he was born blind. But how he can see now, I don't know. The boy's of that age. He's old enough to answer for himself. Why don't you ask him? And so in verse 24 it says, and so the second time they called the man in that had been blind and said to him, give glory to God. We know that this man is a sinner, talking about Jesus. Then he answered and said, whether he is a sinner, I do not know. But one thing I do know, once I was blind, and now I see. They kept questioning him and answering him, and he says, why do I need to tell you this again? I told you the first time and you wouldn't listen. But I thought it's interesting in verse 30, it says, this was the man that was blind, answered and said unto them, well, here is an amazing thing. You do not know where he is from, and yet he opened my eyes. You don't know anything about Jesus. But the amazing thing is that he opened my eyes. The Pharisees got mad at him, thought that he was trying to teach them and mock them, and so they cast him out of the synagogue. The amazing thing to me is even after all of this, the man still did not know who had opened his eyes. But in verse 35, it says, Jesus heard that they had put him out and found him, and says, do you believe in the Son of Man? Simple question. Do you believe in the Son of Man? And he answered and said, who is he, Lord, that I may believe in him? The man had an open heart. He wanted to know who the Son of Man is. Jesus answered and said, you have both seen him, and he is the one who is talking with you. As I think about that verse, as I think about the praise and the worship of God, he is the man that is talking with you. You see, it tells me that if we stay close to Jesus, if we continue to look for him, continue to dig into his word, that we'll have that desire to say, let me know more about you, that I can live my life for you. See, as Jesus comes into our lives, he opens our eyes more and more each day, tells us more of what we need to do, tells us that we need to worship him, to love him, and to love others as he has loved us. You know, going down the road, I saw those poles all the time. They were there. They were spaced out so far apart. The poles were on the side of the road. And I knew they were there. But it wasn't until that I had my vision corrected. It wasn't until I put those glasses on and was able to look up that I saw those amazing things. The lines, those poles had a purpose: to carry electricity to all the houses around. What an amazing fact. You see, it's sort of like Jesus. We see that he's there. We see him every day. And it's not until we put our glasses on and look towards him, we can see that he has that connection for all of us. Jesus says, I am the light of the world. Let him bring the light of the world through you. I hope you have a blessed day.